On the 9th of October, 90 minutes after Max Verstappen had won the Drivers' World Championship in Suzuka, I was informed that we were, in fact, in breach of the regulations to the tune of 1.8 million, which, again, we were hugely surprised at. The FIA accepted that there were mitigating factors, in particular to one specific item where essentially we had overpaid within the cap the amount of tax. We hadn't excluded £1.4 million worth of tax that was an excludable item. So when you take that into account, the 1.8 breach becomes, as the FIA clearly stated in their release, down to little over 400,000. So a 0.37% breach is essentially what we're talking about. Early this week, where we've been provided a significant penalty, both financially and sportingly, from the $7 million, which is an enormous amount of money that is payable within a 30-day period. And obviously, the more draconian part is the sporting penalty, which is a 10% reduction in our ability to utilize our wind tunnel and aerodynamic tools. And you know, that I've heard people reporting today is an insignificant amount. Let me tell you now, that is an enormous amount. That represents anywhere between quarter and half a second's worth of lap time. That comes in from now. That has a direct effect on next year's car, and will be in place for a 12-month period. By winning the Constructors' Championship, obviously we become victims of our own success by, in addition to that 10%, having 5% incremental disadvantage or handicap compared to the second and third place. So just for clarity, we will have 15% less wind tunnel time than the second place team in the Constructors' Championship and 20% less than the third place. Again, a draconian amount. So that 10% put into reality, as I say, will have impact on our ability to perform on track. There's lessons for all concerned out of this. But the FIA, clearly in their statement, they were very clear when they said that there's been no accusation or evidence that RBR has sought at any time to act in bad faith, dishonestly or in a fraudulent manner, nor has it willfully concealed any information from the COSCAP administration. So we haven't hidden stuff. We've made our interim submissions. We've been through the process. Perhaps we expected more. Perhaps we should have asked more. That's part of this process. Max Verstappen won last year's championship fair and square. He did what he had to do on the day. He did his job. The team did our job. He won the race. He is the world champion. What we're talking about here had no effect whatsoever on the performance of his car, last year. The fact that we've paid people when they're, sick and in need, the fact that we've, catered for our staff, we've looked after our staff, has not in any way added to the performance on his car, last year. And the FIA, in fairness to them, they have taken a very hard line on some of these interpretations. But I think we all have a duty of care to work together to make these regulations, easier to comprehend moving forward. It's been a huge learning experience for us. I'm sure others have learned watching from the sidelines. It's important that the cost cap is an important part of Formula One's success in the future, but it needs to be applied in the right way, and to potentially blow that apart as well, would not have been the right thing to do. These penalties set a precedent, for the future. So if you get 10% for a 0.37% breach, what is a 5% breach going to look like? We make no apology for you know, the way that we've performed, the way that we've acted, we take in, you know, we do take on the chin that there are lessons to be made, and, you know, potentially mistakes have been made in our submission, which with the benefit of hindsight and 20/20 vision, everybody can be a specialist, but there was no intent, there was no, nothing dishonest, and there was certainly no cheating involved, which has been alleged in certain corners. So I don't feel that we need to apologise. You know, we've taken our pounding in public. We've taken a very public pounding through the accusations that's been made through other teams. We've had our drivers booed at circuits, you know, and the reputational damage that's been made by allegations has been significant. Time is now for that to stop, and now to move on.